Bridget from Suburban Sandcastles, and I'm here with Farmer Dan, a small-scale producer of beef, lamb and cattle from South Gippsland. Now Dan, you really pride yourself on producing sustainable, ethical meat that's 100% free range and grass-fed. Can you tell me a bit about your operation and why that's important to you?
Well, it's important to us because apart from growing for ourselves, I'm actually growing for my kids, my grandkids and future generations, because I believe that food should be clean and we should be actually protecting the resources that we have, rather than bowing down to chemical companies that are pushing a cause, and their cause is money. They don't have any regard for the environment or the effects on our health. So, my aim is to just, it's not about the money. It is about the money because I want to pay my bills. But my long-term goal is not to be driving, a Mercedes or, some flash car and having a flash house in, suburban Melbourne. My aim is to just farm and produce food and quality clean food. And I think that's what it's all about.
It's a very, noble profession in a way when you look at how much farming and food has been industrialised in our country. I read recently that 100 years ago farmers got 90 cents in the dollar, and these days because of the industrialised model it's down to 10 cents. And, every day I think that 7 farmers are walking off the land. So, how much has being a small producer made farming viable for you as a career, I suppose, and a lifestyle?
Well, we used to pay our bills. We used to not have to work a second job. A while ago, during the drought, my wife, we both had to take on second jobs because we just couldn't pay our bills. We'd fallen behind. People would be saying pay this, pay the other, electricity, gas, all these things had fallen behind because we just couldn't meet our commitments, basically, because the market wasn't paying us. And although people in Melbourne were paying higher prices for meat because the supermarkets were telling them they had to pay more for cattle, in fact they weren't. They were actually paying us nothing. My kids suggested that we just try a different business model, and that was to market our own products. So rather than rely on the live cattle market, why don't we just have a go and see what it would be like to sell direct? And with their help, we've been successful. We pay our bills, and I'm really happy about that. And I've actually, the kids now, rather than go off the farm, which they did, my daughter actually was doing teaching, and her husband just finished his apprenticeship. They've actually decided to come back to the farm because they actually see something viable there, rather than, my boys, they all work in Melbourne. They looked at, they didn't think we'd make any money. They've got jobs in Melbourne, they're doing quite well. But, they're looking at it now as well, going, Dad, there's something, there's something different. And we're different in our area, what we do. It's because of the fact that we've actually, opened up our mind and looked at another way of paying the bills. And you can't look upon us now as being traditional farmers in the way of the chemical companies. We're traditional farmers, how we used to farm, how my parents used to farm.
Before agriculture,
they never used chemicals, they just farmed, they grew what they grew out of the land, they looked after it, they fertilised it with manures.
Do you find that approach gives you a deeper connection with the land and with your animals and the whole process?
In the morning, I go out and check the animals, and I watch what they eat. I just sit there by the fence watching them, and they eat different things, stuff that people use these chemicals for, and spray. I see them eating them. They don't eat them because they have to eat them. There's ryegrass there, there's other grasses in there and other weeds and things, and they go around picking and choosing stuff that would normally be sprayed out. So you can't say to me that an animal just eats ryegrass or a particular variety that Monsanto or someone's come up with and says, yes, use this because it's going to give you bigger production. I look at myself, I know I don't eat meat every day. I couldn't tolerate eating meat every day. I eat vegetables, I eat a variety of foods. And animals are exactly the same. They're looking for variety.
Yeah.
So why would I spray all this stuff?
It's actually a beautiful thing in that you're allowing the animal to exist in the ecosystem in which it's been conditioned to for thousands of years, really.
Absolutely.
That's lovely. Oh, thank you for sharing a bit about your operation, Dan. I think that from everything that I'm learning and everything we're going to explore with our fair food screening coming up, it's really about this getting back to basics and really promoting this, the way that farming's been done for thousands of years is kind of, in some ways, having a bit of a renaissance, and consumers are really lapping it up. I think if you look at the growth in farmers markets, which is where we are now, look at the growth of those in the last 10 years, it's just boomed. So it's an exciting time. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.